Welcome to another episode of Who's Your Nerds podcast with your hosts. Tim's here actually this time, Mikey, and the two Chris's. Tim's not going to show up for not even a 5-minute phone call, just say hello and then goodbye. Tim did say he had something important to talk to us about this week, but he can bring that up when he wants to, I guess.
I had just moved a patient off of the CT table, and then I got your call, and I ran out into the hallway. I was like, forget about this patient.
I'll be right back.
I just let him roll down the hallway. Figured he'd get to his room.
We watched a few movies this week.
Nobody told me about any movie watching this week, but
I did.
how this
It's just kind of like watch a random movie. It's not, you can watch, other than Star Trek, you're allowed to watch other stuff.
Or like F9.
Well, we talked about F9 in the group chat a little bit.
Yeah, you could have went to see F9. We did.
They did. I saw, Quiet Place 2 finally.
You should go see F9. I can't believe we haven't talked about it.
Or you haven't seen it? Is that what you're saying? We haven't talked about it. You mean we haven't seen it yet?
You'd have to see it.
I know, but I can talk
if
about
I had
it.
to suffer through it, you can too.
Uh-oh. Do we want to
Hey.
start? All right, that's where we're starting. We're starting it with F9. Go. How was it? What happened? I saw some stuff happen.
They started out hijacking trucks with DVD players. Keep that in mind.
Love to see it.
In the very first Fast and the Furious, keep this in mind. They just hijack trucks to fence the garbage in it so they can race. They can go street racing. That's the whole premise of the movie, correct?
The original, yeah.
Yes. Okay. That should be problem enough with everything that goes on in F9 right there.
No, let's start out. No, okay. I would go back to the first one. And I just watched it recently.
Okay.
The first one. I watched it like yesterday.
Yeah,
I think.
I was walking out for dinner and he was starting up F1.
Well, I was trying to finish it. I started it the other day. I forget
Oh.
when, but I was ready in. Okay, so Brian's character, he was recruited to go, undercover.
Yeah, he was an FBI agent, right?
Yes, to take down whoever was stealing them, and it happened to be Vin Diesel and his crew. But
Family. Let's get it right.
now you could take that concept and apply it to the other ones. They were recruited to help take down. It's the same theme. They were recruited to help take down other bosses or other evil henchmen or
They're
the
street
Shaws.
racers. It's not like they're elite command. They're not the A team. They're not
They're
not
the
mercenaries.
A team. They're the F team. F is the
Yes,
family.
they're F team. Yes.
Doing stuff together.
Yeah, when the A team and everything through A through F dies.
A2E is dead, so they rely on these. Let's try these street racers. Let's recruit them. I think they could do the job. John Cena broods through the first half of the whole movie. All he does is brood.
I forget what movie it was, but I got the hint. They're the team that was chosen because they know that area. They know they have those expertise.
Yes, they are rocket scientists from NASA.
They know their way around that world.
What world?
The car racing world.
There's no car racing going on in this movie. We haven't had car racing since 3?
The thieving, the
5.
the spy. I don't want to say spy, but the thieving, the breaking in and stuff. They broke in to steal those DVDs and stuff, and they.
Dude, we could figure out a plan to go hijack a truck. I don't think we could figure out a way to shoot a Fiero into space to blow up a satellite.
It was a Fiero they shot into space?
When did the guy from from Tokyo Drift turn into Doc Brown from Back to the Future?
That wasn't Tokyo Drift.
Yes, it was.
No, that was Bow Wow. Bow Wow was in Tokyo Drift.
No,
It's not
the guy
ludicrous.
from Tokyo
Except for the
Drift
arrow.
turns into this
1.21
mad scientist that
gigawatts.
builds a rocket ship out of a
He
Fiero.
wasn't in Tokyo Drift. That was Bow Wow.
It's not. It's
No, you're talking about Ludacris.
No, I'm not talking about Ludacris.
Yes, you
No,
are.
hang on. It's Lucas Black is who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
now.
when did he turn into Doc Brown from Back to the Future?
I don't know. He's good with engines. He helped build that car in his movie. with his dad.
So you're saying that it's relevant?
They're all good with engines.
It's like the Big Bang Theory. When the car breaks down in the desert, who knows how to build? Who knows how an engine works? They all raise their hands. Who knows how to build an engine? Well, he knows how to build an engine, and he knows how they work.
It's not. It doesn't translate.
Yeah, it does.
There's a difference. There's a difference between a car engine, a diesel.
Well, that's why it failed,
and then a rocket engine.
No, that's why it failed. And they had to get the other guy to come help.
Anyway, so Lucas Black has turned into Emmett Brown from Back to the Future for some reason. He's like some wacky mad scientist guy.
Do they explain how the... Okay, I haven't watched the movie, but do they explain how the one guy survived being killed by Jason Statham?
Yes.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Yeah, they explain that. And no, we know the basis.
I don't like how they did it, but they did it.
We know the basis of Dominic's beating up the race car driver guy.
Yeah, that's cool. They were actually
of all the things
filmed that scene. And
you can beat up John Cena, you can destroy his plans, and he doesn't get angry. But when you say that he doesn't deserve the Toretto name, that's when all hell breaks loose. Nothing else is going to upset. He broods through the whole movie. He doesn't say like 6 words the first hour and a half of the whole movie.
He broods through the movie because he's not allowed to be called a Toretto?
No. He just finally, you don't deserve the Toretto name. And oh my, you thought that he was John Wick and somebody shot his dog. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And they got poor Charlize Theron, who's got a haircut like Mo Howard from the Three Stooges, locked up in some glass cage like she's Hannibal Lecter. Because she's dangerous, apparently.
Did you see the last movie?
No, I did not waste my time watching.
Oh my God, she destroyed half of what was that, like New York or something?
I'm sure. Was it as unbelievable as this one?
Huh? Yeah.
I was laughing at things that I'm pretty confident I wasn't supposed to be.
Little spoiler, but she piloted a jet.
She piloted that drone in this one.
Yeah, it was a drone.
Yeah.
But in the last movie,
changed her hair though. She looks like Mo from the Three Stooges.
I don't know if it was the last movie or the movie before, but she hacked into all the cars that could drive themselves, which is every car in the city.
Anyway, they launch a Fiero into space and they get saved by the ISS. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I told him during the movie, we are 2 naked chicks away from this being an Andy Sedaris movie.
I mean,
But they even blew a guy up. So yes,
was there a cheesy line when they did?
There's cheesy lines through the whole movie. So again, we are 2 naked chicks away from this being an Andy Sedaris movie.
I like John Cena in it. He stole the show, of course.
Anybody can steal it from Vin Diesel.
Wait a second. Wait. Most ridiculous thing in the world, right?
More than going to space?
More ridiculous thing going to space. They explain Brian's absence in this movie.
Yeah, he's watching the kids.
He's the fucking nanny. That's what he is. He's the nanny. So they send the girl back. What's her name? The chick,
his
Dominic's sister. Yeah, they send her back to help with the plan while Brian watches the kids.
Okay, they should have just kept her. If they're not going to let him bring him back, just leave him out.
He's like the nanny. He's the nanny. They should just redo the nanny and then they should just put Paul Walker's face on Vin Diesel's face and he's in remake Pacifier starring Paul Walker posthumously and just put his head over Vin Diesel because
I don't think she was in it that much either, but she was in it.
I'm so glad Brian could watch the kids. What?
But okay, so I watched the 6th one.
Is he good with kids in that one? Is that why?
No, that's when he first gets his son. Is in the 6th one, and then Vin tells him once you go into that room, we're out of this. You're out of this.
But she was out of it too. Remember, because he says in the movie, "You're being brought back into this," or something like that about going back to this world, and she accepts it or whatever. Mia, that's her name, Mia. Yeah.
That was a perfect impersonation of the doll.
Back to John Cena. His flow was awesome. It's got great. You know, and
he does have some great hair in the trailers.
When they speak about him before his entrance into the movie, when you see his face and stuff, it's like, oh, that's cool. But once he comes in the scene, it's fucking game changer from then on out. It's so awesome.
Is he like throwing hands and stuff? Does
No.
he and Dom fight? Like fisticuff?
They're brothers.
I don't.
think
They probably do. It's been a little bit since I watched it, but I mean, I'm sure they do. But they chase each other around, of course. But they have a lot of words, and they have a lot of past, and you see that in the scenes. They replay the scenes with them.
Yeah, they do a lot of past scenes with Dominic's dad, which was I should have known right then and there when they show how Dominic's dad died that this was going to be over the top, because I have never seen somebody. Okay, I've seen one die in a racing accident like that, but not at a short track. I've never seen a fiery ball of an explosion and go up into the wall and the fence like that.
I'm guessing that's how he died. Then he died in a car crash.
He dies in a car crash anyway from the first one.
I kind of forgot about that.
Oh.
I haven't seen the first one in years. So.
Dominic beats the guy up that caused a wreck.
Yeah, I remember that because a little bit. I watched the other day.
I would have liked to have seen the guy be a school janitor at this point. The guy they beat up. They should have went back and talked to him. Or at least Dominic could have went back and apologized or something after he found out everything that he found out.
They did. They did say there's going to be 2 more Fast and Furious.
Oh my gosh!
And they're already working on the scripts.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, it's going to be Jurassic Park, Fast and the Furious, with a little bit of Star Wars thrown in, and it's utterly the most ridiculous movie I've ever seen. It's like I thought I was watching. Mel Brooks couldn't have made a movie like this. I mean, but
Mel Brooks has a class, though.
It was just I was just finding myself laughing at things I wasn't supposed to be laughing at. Now, is it a summer blockbuster? Obviously, and it's giving people
movie of the summer.
It's not going to be the movie of the summer.
It already is.
It's July. We got another month of movies.
I don't know what more. There's not many more movies coming out. Black Widow's not going to beat this movie.
No, Black Widow is not beat this movie. But I don't know. I don't know what could beat this movie. Because Top Gun don't come out till November now, right?
Yeah, it got pushed back again.
And so did James Bond.
Yeah. James Bond, what was it? Never Gonna Come Out is the title of it now.
Never Gonna Come Out.
And it's like No Time to Die, no time for the movie now.
And we don't care if you're a hater like Chris over here. Go watch the movie. It's excellent.
Go watch the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I wasted my it wasn't like Avatar where I wasted my time and my money and my 3 hours of my life back. It wasn't that bad, but it's still pretty bad.
Did you
have basis that these characters started as truck hijackers?
Did you have fun watching it? Was it a fun movie?
I told you, it's not that it's fun. It's just that I saw it. It's okay.
He doesn't want to say it's a fun movie. He probably laughed and had fun watching it. I guarantee it.
It wasn't that it fun. I wouldn't use the word fun.
Segue for my topic that I was going to say last week, so it's good that I saved it for this week.
Go ahead, Tim.
So, Fast and Furious is going on pretty long. Arguably too long, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
It's been 20 years.
Take that and say I put the same thought to Marvel. There are 23 Marvel movies. They need to calm down.
I agree.
If I want to catch up on the, say I haven't, watched the last, say you want to just go through and watch all of the Marvel movies. Hey, I want to go through and watch them. It would take you, 3 days to get through all of the movies.
I did it during the winter. Or no, during the spring.
You mean when your ankle was broken?
No, before my ankle was broken.
Even still, it's too much. So for those people that say Fast and Furious has gone on too long, I say that so has all of these Marvel movies.
I agree.
You could say that about Harry Potter.
But Harry Potter stopped at 7.
No, it's not. It's still going.
No, now it's a whole different thing.
It's still the same
Beasts.
thing.
It's not the
Fantastic
Harry Potter
Beasts, no,
story,
It's
though.
still the
It
same
No,
universe.
that's different.
It's
Get
still
out
the
of here.
same
What?
universe.
Fantastic
It's not the
Beast
same-
is
It's not
different.
the same. Like, I wouldn't count
Is that a J.K.
Creed.
Rowling thing?
Or, I mean, I guess maybe
It's-
because
yes,
Creed has
it's the
Rocky
same.
in it. But,
Like you said, it's
like,
the
the
universe.
original, like, the new Harry Potter movies don't have Harry, Ron, Hermione. That's what
Well,
Harry
you can
Potter
argue
is
that
all
with the
about.
Marvel
So
movies.
it's just like
Not
a
every
spin-off
Marvel movie
series
has
that's,
Iron
like,
Man
kind
in it
of
or
a
Thor.
prequel at the same time. But, like, Marvel has the same characters, and then it's such an intertwined story sometimes that you could be watching, like Thor Dark World, and you're like, what the hell is going on right now?
The new Shang.
Yeah.
What's that new with the new movie coming out? The martial art one, Marvel movie. The new martial art Marvel movie. I can't think of the name. It's got the Abomination from the Hulk movie that technically started the whole Marvel universe in it. Tim Roth's Abomination.
You don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
He was fighting the Abomination, the Hulk's like
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah, and I don't know if they said Roth is in the movie or not, but it's got his character in it.
See, these are movies that I'm excited about coming out
Like,
this summer.
maybe not stop altogether with the Marvel movies.
Yeah, stop
maybe it's time
altogether
to,
with
like,
the
take a
Marvel
little bit of a break.
Well, they have. They've taken like a year and a half
let people, like, absorb
They
some
have
of
not.
the...
They just put
from
Black
movies.
Widow.
Black Widow is, other than Black Widow, there hasn't been any movies
Then
since
next year's
Endgame.
going to be Thor.
But they've gone 2 years without movie technically now.
No,
Well, you got Spider-Man coming out.
that's
Spider-Man's not really
Spider-Man came
Marvel.
out. What came out? Spider-Man came out 2 years ago, right?
All those Spider-Man.
What came out last year?
Nothing.
That was because there was a pandemic. They released something, didn't they?
No, they didn't. Other than their shows now.
So
Okay,
Black
I'm
Widow
sorry.
would
So
have been
aside
last year.
from a global
You can't count
pandemic,
Black Widow as this
it's
year.
time for them to take a break.
Black
They've
Widow
been-
was supposed to come out
See,
last year.
they're focusing on the shows right now.
Black Widow was supposed to come out
That-
last year.
and that just adds even more to the lore, to the stuff. To
It's not that I
watch
don't
and
agree
stuff.
with
Like,
you that
now
they
I
need a
don't-
break.
It was almost like with like the Arrowverse, like how you couldn't just
Oh
watch
my
Arrow.
God.
You had to watch Arrow, Flash, and
Legends of Tomorrow.
And Supergirl.
And now they got
Supergirl, all at the same
another
time,
one.
because
They got
like,
the lowest
intertwined their
show.
stories.
Shang-Chi
So,
comes out.
come on,
That would have
it
been
was like
this
a cool
year. Don't say they
concept,
took a
but-
break.
like, I don't want to have to be obligated to watch 3 separate shows just to understand the storyline.
Well, it's the same argument with Star Wars. Star Wars was getting a little too much, and it's still kind
I
of
mean, same thing with Star Wars.
because you got to. If you want to understand how in Force Awakens, well, of course, we get back to Star Wars, but how Force Awakens, how C-3PO has the red arm. Well, they're not going to tell you in the show. You got to go buy the book and read the book and see why he has the red arm in Force Awakens.
There are 3 Marvel movies coming out this year.
What movies?
I just told you.
Shang-Chi,
Black
Black
Widow.
Widow.
Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and
Homecoming,
Spider-Man.
and
Spider-Man comes out this year?
December 17th.
I'm
Oh, I
sure
thought
it
Spider-Man
does.
came out next year.
That's still too many. We're still about too many.
wait, hold on. Do me and Chris see eye to eye?
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
But I mean, that's where you can't blame them at some point because that's where the money's at
Yeah.
right now.
As soon as they stop making money, they will stop doing the shows. Like Star Trek. They stopped making Star Trek for about 10, 15 years because they weren't making money anymore.
Then Doctor Strange comes out next year.
I can't wait for that Doctor
They
Strange
did not
movie.
take a break. And so does Thor. There's
They
no
took a
break, Chris.
because of the pandemic. They couldn't film. That's literally
They did
it.
not release Black Widow because of the pandemic. It was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, but
And
it was
even
going to be the
with-
only
and
one
even
last
while
year.
the
Then we have
pandemic,
2
they
this
still,
year,
slowly
and
were
then 2
releasing
next
some of
year.
these shows or working on these shows.
I'm not disagreeing with you guys saying that they need a break. I'm just saying they kind of took a break after Endgame.
They didn't.
Kind
They
of.
didn't? No, I don't know where you're. What, like 4 months? they took a vacation.
Yeah,
Didn't
they
they
did.
do Black? Didn't they? No, that wasn't it. Was it?
No, like I guess for that whole Avengers timeline, they're like, okay, let's set up Avengers, which they did with Iron Man, Captain America, the first Avenger. I'm sure they did it with another one.
Thor.
Thor, okay. And then they're like, okay, let's do Avengers. And then they set up the other one, and then a couple years later they did the next Avengers, and then they set up another one with another sequels and stuff, and
They haven't.
So I guess it seems like a lot.
They
Maybe
haven't
it is,
set
but-
up the next Avengers movie yet.
Iron Man movies.
There isn't gonna be a next
Yeah, there is.
Captain America movies.
Why would there be?
Like 3 or 4 Avenger movies. 3,
Why wouldn't they?
4, 5 Spider-Man movies.
The rumor is right now the next villain's gonna be Galactus. That when he destroyed the stones at the end of Infinity War, in between Infinity War and Endgame, he created Galactus to help keep balance. As in, what's his face? I can't think of the villain from.
We still have Suicide Squad coming out August 6th.
I forgot about Suicide Squad.
So, there goes your idea of Fast and Furious being the big hit.
Suicide Squad's not going to beat Fast and Furious.
Yes, it will.
I don't think it will.
But I guess that would explain why they went ahead and did the Falcon and Winter Soldier and set him up as Captain America.
Yeah.
But
And right now they're setting up Doctor Strange's movie. Doctor Strange's movie is supposed to be the next big one. Because that's what WandaVision is trying to set up.
Yeah.
That's what Loki's setting up because in Doctor Strange it's about the multiverse. Which is what Loki is setting up, is the multiverse. Speaking of Loki, last week's episode was a crazy episode.
yeah, and I think I was about to say, to move on to that, was like Loki, like each episode, it answers some questions from the past episode, but it creates more questions, and it's frustrating.
I think this episode of Loki did not need the after credit scene. They should have left it with the ending.
Oh,
and
yeah.
left it. I don't want to say it because it's like spoiling something. I don't want to spoil it.
And I feel so sorry for. Oh wow, that guy. I was like, I liked him in the. I don't want to.
You gave it away.
I
with
know
one
I
word you
did,
said.
but it's
if someone caught it.
Yeah.
But he might come back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, there's a chance because he's such a good character.
Yeah.
The Green Knigget comes out July 30th.
The what?
The Green Knigget.
Bless you. What's that?
Green Knight.
Oh.
A fantasy retelling of the
Oh, I
medieval
see what
story of Sir
Oh,
Gawain
yeah.
and the Green Knight.
Gawain?
Gawain, yeah.
Gawain.
Yeah.
Gawain and the Green
Didn't
Knight.
you do a paper on him?
I read about it.
Jungle
I think.
Cruise comes out.
I don't know.
July 30th.
I don't remember anything about it, so it doesn't matter.
I was just thinking about it. It just reminded me of our chivalry class.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes comes out July 23rd.
Snake Eyes look sick.
Snake
Eyes
Eyes looks
does
pretty
look-
good.
And
I
then,
hope
of
they-
course, I want to see Old. I'm really intrigued by that movie.
What movie?
Old. Ain't that the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Oh,
Yes.
I was actually, I
Holiday
remember
with
there
People.
was commercials for that movie like a few months ago, and it most certainly was not called Old.
What do you think it was
I don't
called?
know if it just didn't have a title at the time, but I clearly remember seeing these commercials, and I definitely would have remembered a movie title as simple as Old.
Tim's from another universe. Time to call the
The TVA.
TVA. Tim, I'm calling the TVA on you.
Yeah, you can.
Or the time.
You altered the timeline. What's it called?
The sacred
It
timeline.
says
Sacred
the director
timeline.
shared the first poster of the film on September 26, 2020, and revealed the movie will be titled Old.
Maybe they just didn't. Maybe it was like one of those trailers that doesn't have like the name or just flashes it like super fast that I didn't see it. But
You probably just
I
didn't catch it.
It looks really good.
I
though.
definitely would have remembered like just Old because I remember thinking.
Or
like, oh,
are
this
you
movie
getting
looks kinda-
old and your memory
kinda cool.
going?
I'm not a big fan of like scary movies, but this seems like it's interesting. It's like a mystery horror.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I haven't seen any trailers for it yet.
We saw it in the movie. If you'd went to the movie with us, you'd have saw the trailer.
Sorry.
August 13th has Free Guy.
I can't wait for that movie. That might be Fast and Furious.
August 20th, I found the movie that is going to beat Fast and Furious.
What is it?
Paw Patrol, the movie.
Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol.
It will beat it, but not in the numbers that you want it to. It'll be because all the kids
They're
want it to.
financed. They're crazy financed like the Fast and Furious people. Like you don't know where this money's coming from.
Yeah.
Candyman, August 27th.
I finally watched Quiet Place 2, and we've talked about it enough. I'm just gonna say I thought the first one was a little better, mostly because I think the suspense scenes were better. Now that I like the story a lot better in this one, and I liked the characters the acting was amazing as always, but.
I think the suspense scenes were better just because, at least in the first one, because you really don't know that much about the monsters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they even have? They didn't have a name for them, did they?
They still don't have a name for them.
Yeah.
They're just
I
the
forget
monsters.
what we called them.
Space Jam 2 comes out in 2 weeks.
But I really liked the prequel or you saw what happened before
Day one stuff.
Yeah, the day one stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
But I really wish he would not have killed himself off in the first movie.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I don't think he should have died.
Why?
I mean, his sacrifice was awesome. He was such a good character.
He had to die though because it sets up the second one where she's got.
Well, they didn't have the second one set
got
up.
A screaming baby.
They could have wrote it differently, if they were even going to do a second one before the money came in.
I don't think there was a second one planned. If I read that right.
I don't think there was either. It was more of hey, we made a shit ton of money. Let's do it again. Roll it back.
I don't think they're going to make another one though.
No, I don't think they will. I won't be surprised if they do.
No.
But I don't think they should.
I mean, I think the idea is already it's used up and can't really. I don't think you can go too much into it without.
You have to have completely different characters on the other side of the country.
On the Big Picture podcast, John Krasinski stated he originally did not want to be involved in a sequel, but the producer convinced him to come over and pitch his idea to the studio. After 3 weeks, they asked him to write the story, with the idea that directorial duties would be handed over to other filmmakers. Krasinski offered to come back as director, suggesting that he was Jedi mind tricked into signing on to the sequel. So he wasn't. So the studio was interested in a sequel. He wasn't.
Okay.
Because they want the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw. Moving on, I guess. I saw the Tomorrow War, the Amazon show movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Do you guys remember that Great Wall movie with Matt Damon?
I remember watching the trailers. I never watched
They
it.
took a lot from that movie. If you put those movies side by side, they are probably almost the same movie.
So you saw that movie?
I liked Great Wall. It was interesting. Even though it was, the White Devil coming to save China. But anyways...
I thought that was The Last Samurai.
The movie...
My first thought for the whole movie was, instead of recruiting people from the past to fight your war, why don't you just, I don't know, change the past?
Yeah, give them technology or, why don't you start sending people from the past or the future to the past to save them?
Did they ever explain that? Why they couldn't do that?
No, they don't. Did you watch it, Tim? Tim?
Yeah.
You watched it?
No, I didn't watch it. It's just from the commercials.
Okay, I didn't know.
I'm like, oh, well, they're recruiting people from the past to fight their war in the future. Why not just, I don't know, change the past?
I don't know. They never say. They could have brought technology because they had some cool drones fighting these things. Not really too many because they were in their last 3 months of hey, if we don't win now, we're basically done. All the humans were at this base in the middle of the ocean. Surrounded by boats and a minefield just a minefield. But if it didn't have Chris Pratt, this movie probably would have failed or would have sucked. Chris Pratt acted his butt off and made that movie good. When I say this movie was predictable, I'm just gonna say they mentioned something 3 times, and you're like, well, that's gonna be because it's very pronounced and it's just why are they talking about? I'm gonna say it anyways. Why are they talking about volcanoes? They say volcanoes 3 times, just out of nowhere, but very volcanoes.
Foreshadowing.
It was the foreshadowing really hurt. I predict. You can ask Kimberly. I predicted basically the entire movie as we were watching it. It is too long. It was like 2 hours 20 minutes.
What's it called?
The Tomorrow War. It's on
If
Amazon
I'm going
Prime.
to ask Kimberly anything, it's going to be why she doesn't like Futurama, okay? That's her first question she's getting asked by Tim.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
I'll ask her for you, Tim. Don't worry.
Yeah, you let me know.
So you didn't like
They could have easily shaved 30 minutes off of that movie, and it would have been better. My main problem with the movie, like, I don't care about the iffy plot holes of the time travel. It's whatever. That's what they want to do. Sure, I'll have fun watching them go to the future and shoot aliens. Whatever. The problem is when they do like an emotional scene, it was way too long. Like they get like an emotional scene with him and his dad, not even like 10 minutes into the movie, and it's like, I don't care. It's like a 20-minute emotional scene between the two of them, and I'm not invested in the characters yet.
That makes sense.
If they would have cut like 5 minutes off of each of the emotional scenes, it would have been a better movie.
Like if they were, it's weird because if now you're talking about like emotional scenes and stuff, and I'm trying to like think of a scene or like think of a different like movie or show where like the exact opposite, and the only thing that comes to mind is fucking Game of Thrones. Because I mean, you're so invested in these characters throughout the whole series, and you're like, if one dies, you're fucking heartbroken for the next week.
Yeah.
But like, I would say except when Eddard died, you really, yeah, it sucks, but you really don't get to know him that much. Even though it was just the first season, it was like the third episode he died or something.
It was like the 5th or 6th.
I don't know.
He died pretty early into it.
You're more pissed off at like that no one like believed him.
Yeah,
rather than him dying. But
it's not like when Rob died or John quote unquote died.
Catelyn or
yeah, you're not like shit. I remember when we watched the episode where Jon Snow dies. I cried a little. Jon Snow, it's freaking Jon Snow.
Yeah,
but it's. I feel like they thought this show should have been like a miniseries or something, or like a series, and then decided to change its ideas. And let's just say, I feel like Chris Pratt acted almost the same as he did in Jurassic Park.
I could see that.
It was kind of the same character, and it's like he's fighting raptors that are like extra strong and shoot spikes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
And it was like they captured quote unquote Blue. And because Blue's the leader, that's kind of what happens. They capture the main one, like
a general or something.
The female, because they're a hive mind.
Okay.
And all of them, like from across the world, they just start coming to help.
Did they explain how they captured them?
Yeah, they do. You see it. It's actually pretty badass.
Yeah, because I'm how do you capture that?
Chris Pratt is a badass. Let's just put it that way. He deserves to marry Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter.
Oh, nice.
I'm glad that's the whole basis of his marrying.
Yeah, he's a badass. But
good for him.
It's a good movie. Watch it. Maybe stop halfway through, get some dinner.
You said it wasn't that great of a movie. Now you're saying watch it.
I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters. You know, I would not have liked seeing that movie in theaters. Would have been a waste of my money. But sitting here at home, I watched half of it. Then I cooked dinner, and then I watched the second half of it. I failed at dinner. I tried to make chicken parmesan, and the chicken just did not turn out that good. It was done, but the texture was off. I don't know what I did.
Probably didn't. Like, when you first told me about that, I was saying, because it was frozen. I don't know if you defrosted it.
I defrosted it.
Oh.
It sat in hot water, or it was hot water, then it was water for like 5 hours. I sat there and defrosted it for a while. So I don't know. It just, the noodles and everything turned out well, but the chicken was done. There was no pink on the center, but the texture was just off. I can't.
Like dry?
No, it was chewy.
Maybe overcooked.
Yeah,
overcooked?
Dry, yeah. It dries out.
It might have been overcooked.
If it's chewy, it's overcooked, which means it dries out.
Okay.
That's the same thing with like shrimp or something.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm still a noob at cooking.
Anything you overcook, usually it dries out. I mean, like steak, you can have a dry steak. It's like a chewy steak.
True, yeah.
It's dry. It's because you overcooked it.
Okay. Because we fried it on the skillet first, cook it a little bit, crisp it up a little bit, sear it, and then we put it in a bowl, covered it up with sauce, cheese, and stuff, stuck it in the oven for about 15 minutes. And I think we thought it was too short for 15 minutes, but I guess it was
probably should have seared it.
Well, we're like, we're hungry. Let's cook it a little quicker.
I know, but I would have just done it in the oven. I think you'd have been better. You can still overcook it in the oven. You can still.
Yeah.
Chicken can be tricky because you can overcook it real fast.
I've watched enough of guys' grocery games to know that
you almost have to take it out early
and let it rest,
just because it'll finish cooking on the inside.
Yeah, it's still cooking when you take it out.
Yeah. So how we went to food. How did we get to food?
I was talking about how I made dinner halfway through the movie. It's a good movie. If you got nothing to do on a weekend, watch it. If not, don't go out of your way to watch it.
I watched 2 movies this week.
Go ahead,
2 movies. Today I watched No Sudden Move.
I almost watched that. I watched the trailer for it, then I decided otherwise and just watched Fast and Furious 6.
It's loaded with people. Maybe that should have been my...
Yeah, that's why.
Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, David Harbour, and John Hamm.
That's what drove me into it. So I'm like, it's got a lot of good cast.
It's good, but I didn't know if I was watching a mob movie or like a mystery movie or then at the end it comes out it was like a true story, and I was kind of lost through the whole movie. So I wasn't that impressed. It's not horrible. I wouldn't go, oh my god, it sucked. I wouldn't watch it again. But I don't feel like I wasted my time. But I didn't like it. I was kind of bummed out about it. I didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah, that's what kind of like stopped me from watching. I was watching the trailer and I was getting confused watching the trailer because I didn't really understand what was going on.
It's described as a group of criminals are brought together under mysterious circumstances and have to work together to uncover what's really going on when their simple job goes completely sideways.
That's super vague.
It's extremely vague. I would say this has nothing to do with the movie. It was I was like, how did they get involved? And it has to do with how catalytic converters got put on automobiles. That's what it was.
What?
Seriously. It was insane.
How's it go from a mob movie to like a documentary?
Because the mob was involved with somehow, and I ain't figured out why they were involved. That's why I said it was kind of convoluted.
Okay.
So don't watch it. But
what's it on?
HBO.
Okay, I'll stay away from HBO.
But I watched Fear Street Part 1, 1994.
What's that?
It's a horror movie.
Okay.
But it is a smart horror movie.
Oh.
It reminded me very, very much of Scream when Scream came out. I was impressed. Cast was good. The idea of it was really good. There's some funny things in it. It's not like hilariously funny, but there are just a few funny scenes. But it has to do with this witch and a curse and murders that happen in this town out in California. And the first one was 1994, which was this one.
Is it based on a real?
No.
Okay.
It's not based on anything real.
Just completely made up.
Yes.
Okay.
So, the more I watched it, the longer I watched it, the more I got into it, and by the end of the movie, I'm like, that was real. Like, I would watch it again.
And it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It's a 3-part series.
Okay.
It's called. So this one was Fear.
How long are they?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. And you only watched part 1.
Minutes, something like that. Only part 1's the only one out.
Okay. So it's a 3-episode thing.
Yes.
And it's only part 1, so those are 3
it's
parts.
It's a 3-week event. Next week is Fear Street, 1978.
Okay. Part 2.
It goes it's all tied together.
Yeah.
So this one goes back to it was neat because there was some nice throwback stuff from the 90s.
Yeah.
In this movie because it's from 1994.
Okay.
So it doesn't have anybody in it that I know of. It does have Maya Hawke. She's about the only one I knew of.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Stranger Things. The last one. She worked at the ice cream shop.
I have not watched Stranger Things past season 1.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I tried to watch season 2 and I hated the first 2 episodes of season 2 and never gone back.
This disappointing.
That's very disappointing to hear.
I like it, but I don't see the hype in it.
I love it. I think it's great.
I mean, it's a good show, but I don't see how people are like so obsessed with it. I mean, it's great.
Not obsessed with it. Shut up.
It's not Game of Thrones.
I don't think it's trying to be, but
well, that's what I'm saying in the obsession category.
Yeah,
it's not that. Is it that obsession? Is it that obsessive?
There's some really crazy fans out there.
Yeah, but not like.
Not Game of Thrones crazy.
I don't think it's Game of Thrones.
Like I wouldn't buy
it's up
merch.
there. I think it's a broader audience.
I would say obsession as like I wouldn't buy like merchandise.
Me neither.
Okay, well that's fine. I mean, but Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, on the other hand,
Game of Thrones,
I could get tattoos of that shit. But
there's some very
Game of Thrones. I have a cosplay at my parents' house.
Yeah,
and a sword at my parents' house.
Right.
Yeah, Stranger Things reaches a broader audience because you get a lot of teenagers involved. And
people who grew up in that time.
Adults who grew up in that time.
Yeah.
And that is me. I mean, I was the same age as these guys were when this show was, the time frame. I was their age.
Oh, yeah.
Then. So, I love Stranger Things. I can't believe you haven't watched Stranger Things. It's so good.
I watched the first season. I didn't... Okay, my problem with season 2...
But did you like Lovecraft Country?
Yeah.
That makes no... Actually, I didn't like...
And I liked Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, see, this makes no sense whatsoever because Stranger Things is like a million times better than either one of those.
Episode 1 and episode 2 of season 2 are horrible. I fell asleep during episode 1 of season 2.
You should try and rewatch it.
Okay. But then I have to rewatch season 1.
No, you don't.
I'll have to remember what's happening. I haven't watched season 1 since the year it came out.
Their kid gets caught in the upside down, blah, 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 blah. They get him back. There you go.
11 has powers. Blah, blah,
11
blah,
has powers from like a government-created person. Boom. On to season 2. I just explained season 1 to you. That's the synopsis.
Wow.
Yeah, you can watch like a 5-minute like synopsis.
Season 3
look
was
up YouTube
like
or something.
YouTube.
I did like season 3 better than season 2.
I've heard season 3 is the best.
Season 3 is really good. But you could say the same thing about Game of Thrones, because what was the one where Arya didn't know where she was and she was like getting trained about being a faceless person?
Was that no, that was like 6.
Was it 6? That was their worst season.
I'm looking at the box, but I don't know what box. I don't know what season it is. The gold box.
Is it the gold box?
Yeah.
That was their worst season. That was slow. Every episode was slow. This one?
Mm-hmm.
Fire and Blood.
Does Tim like the Stranger Things?
Did he hang up?
I've never watched.
Yeah, he's probably playing Destiny.
Stranger Things.
You probably
And then it didn't really appeal to me since it was all children.
Well, they're grown up now, so you can watch it. Watch them grow
take a
up.
seat. Let's talk. Pull a Chris Hansen.
They probably don't. They don't talk enough about Star Trek.
Have a seat. No, I don't want to.
They don't refer to
Why don't you
Star
have a
Trek
seat?
in it, that's why.
But how did you do that?
But anyway, watch Fear Street. It's really good.
I'll have to put it on
highly
my
recommend
to
it.
watch.
It's a fun. That was a fun movie to watch. It really was.
I might. No, I got D&D once we finish up here, so I can't watch it tonight. I'll watch it tomorrow after work. No, I got therapy tomorrow after work. Damn it.
It's an hour and 47 minutes.
I know, but I got other things I got to do tomorrow.
What do you
We have
running,
the-
like, stuff
We
with
have
your mom?
an inspection.
I won't be here. I have a doctor's appointment.
If we're not here, it's not a big deal. They're gonna come in
okay.
anyways.
It's
but-
an hour and 47 minutes.
Episodes,
Fear Street.
the entire thing.
The second episode don't come out till the end of this week.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Fear Street Part 1 is now
I thought you
47
said.
minutes.
I thought you said part 1 was 3 episodes.
No, there are
Okay.
3 episodes or 3 movies. They
Okay.
come out over a 3
I don't know where I got confused, but I got confused somewhere. But now I got you.
But I mean, this show's like early internet stuff, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend it.
So on Friday, speaking of getting confused, we went to go see the Cincinnati Reds and Cubs.
Well, half the game.
Half the game. So we bought tickets.
What a crapshoot.
This was
Now we know to go on a weekend.
Yeah. So we had the biggest issues. So on what was it, like the weekend before, we were like, let's go to. Kimberly suggested let's go to a Cubs Cincinnati game, and we're like, okay, cool, let's go to fireworks night. Mm-hmm. So we all buy tickets in the outfield. Great seats. I like the seats. They were really good seats.
Yeah, they were very.
We
good
had like
seats.
4 or 5 balls come right at us.
Great weather too.
Yeah. packed stadium. I don't think there was an empty seat in the house.
40,000 plus.
But anyways, so I get off work at 3, and Mikey gets off work somewhere around there.
Yes.
If he's done with everything.
I would have been done at 3. But about 10 minutes till 3, I had an emergency call in that I had to go to. So it pushed me back to almost 3:30 before I even got home.
So we should have left earlier. I'll say that right now. So I get off work, I get home, Mikey tells us what's up, Chris and I are like, okay, cool, we leave. I send Mikey. So Kimberly lives. We gotta go pick up Kimberly in Richmond. She lives about.
We should have had her be here.
We should have.
We could have made the game in time.
Yeah, we would have made the game in time.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's whatever. We learned our lesson. We go to Richmond because I thought Richmond was closer to Cincinnati than it actually was. I thought it was like a less than an hour drive.
No.
No,
It's like about halfway. It was probably about.
No, it's an hour and a half.
Because you go an hour out of your way.
Well, it's 3 hours to get to Cincinnati from here.
No, it's less than that.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
Yeah, I timed it to Kings Island, which is north of Cincinnati. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes to the ballpark.
It's probably like
Which in our time is
Cincinnati
like
from me.
2.5 hours.
But the problem with Richmond, it's an hour out of the way, basically.
Yes.
So I had it timed in my head that we would get to the game a little before, because last time when we went to the game last time,
Yeah.
parking wasn't an issue. There was plenty of parking around there, and
we probably got to the game a half hour to an hour early though.
Yeah, but we also
And it was an afternoon game.
Yeah, I didn't.
And it
but
was probably, 2017 maybe? I can look.
But it was like, I don't remember. But I didn't think parking was going to be an issue like it was. So we get down there finally. There's a crash, and we have to take a 20-minute detour through some city on the border of Ohio and Indiana to go around this crash on the interstate.
Plus, there's holiday traffic.
Traffic. We get to Cincinnati. There's a stalled vehicle in the middle of the road blocking traffic in Cincinnati. So we finally do that. I'm riding with Chris. Okay, I forgot to tell the issue with the address. I sent Mikey her address to go to Richmond, and I typed it in like I always do into my phone for my GPS, and I sent it to Mikey. We get to her house, and we're like, well, Mikey should be here by now with how he drives. So I text him like, where are you at? And
I passed IKEA. Top Golf.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's in Fishers.
So,
which is in Indianapolis.
Come to find out, he's in the middle of Indianapolis, basically.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that my directions auto-corrected to another address, and the address was an hour away from where we were waiting for him. So we're like, whatever, we'll meet you there. Not really whatever. I was pissed at myself, but that's whatever now, I guess. We all survived. We get to the game, or we get to Cincinnati, and the GPS wants us to take a left turn at this one place. Well, there's no left turn there anymore. We drive across the river.
We drove across the Ohio River into Kentucky.
And when we come back around, we look, and we're like, well, our GPSs aren't updated because there used to be a turn there, but there's no turn there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that added another. Chris had to go pee in the bushes next to a Taco Bell.
I had to go to the bathroom so freaking bad.
We waited like 10 minutes in those bushes. He peed for like ever.
It's like a camel.
But we get back across. See that? Well, the GPS isn't updated or something. And we're looking for parking. And we were about to park underneath the Bengals stadium or in the Bengals parking. And me and Chris were both like, well, let's keep looking for parking. There might be parking somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. That would have cost us $20 to park there.
Yeah, I know. And it was further away, I think.
Jeez.
It would have been harder for me to get there actually because there's like
a very big incline.
Yeah. I still got my broken foot. So we're looking and we're looking and we're looking and we're looking. And we're looking. And we're listening to it on the radio, and it's like, the first 3 innings were like 3 up, 3 down, like, and it's like the 4th inning.
No, when we got in there, we saw the end of the 3rd inning.
I know, but like the 1st and 2nd inning were like quick. So we finally find parking like a mile away, and we park. So we're walking to the game, the 3 of us, and we see Mikey's car. His car stands out. Let's put it that way. It's a bright green car.
Thank God.
What?
I said, thank God you guys saw me. I was so lost. I felt like
Kimberly, he's looking for parking. We're trying to tell him where we park. So Kimberly hops in the car with him, and they go to where we parked, and you basically park next to us.
Yeah.
So me and Chris get to the game, and it's the end of the 3rd, beginning of the
end of the 3rd inning.
And I light up the security like a Christmas tree with my foot. That was funny. I knew it was going to happen.
I'm trying to bring a bomb in the boot.
Take him down!
Don't tase me, bro. We finally get to our seats, and we're like, well, we should have just gone home because it's like, well, a third of the game's done now.
I really thought about it, but I figured
we're here.
That's what I was.
But I am a stickler. I mean, you know me. I want to show up in a movie 40 minutes before movie starts.
Yeah, we have our assigned
seats,
and we're there 30 minutes early.
I wanted to buy a scorecard.
Yeah.
And keep score during the baseball game because nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lost
I like
art.
the Wrigley Field. They hand them out. I don't know if Cincinnati does.
You can buy them at Cincinnati. I wanted to, and I'm like, well, shoot, by the 4th inning, I am not going to keep score. That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Plus, I would have had to go search for it, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get into the game, and we missed batting practice, which was another aggravating thing. And I held it together pretty well, but deep down, I was really angry about showing up in the 3rd inning of a baseball game.
I think we all were.
Yeah, I mean, you pay for the full game.
Exactly.
But
I don't pay $40 to show up late to a game. I just don't do it. But now we know, leave at noon.
Yeah.
I figure if you left at like noon, 1 o'clock, you could at least go to a restaurant outside the stadium.
Oh,
I ain't been there in 15
Make
years,
it a whole day.
Make it a whole day, exactly.
Yeah. We just thought a quick trip down there and a quick trip back, but we didn't account for traffic, parking.
Well, we didn't account for 4th of July traffic.
And Cincinnati is the worst fucking city. I hate those streets there.
I like the city, but there are so many up and down. Even getting out of there to getting onto freaking 74.
One way is the traffic. It's, I don't like Cincinnati.
But I liked where we parked because it was easy out.
Yeah,
right through the city.
Yeah, we basically got right onto the highway.
I would park there. I told Chris, I said I'd park there again if I'm going to another game. I'm parking there.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheap and it's not too far.
But it's cheap. It's not too far, and I liken it to like when we go to the 500. We park almost a mile away from the track, but we're out on the interstate. From the time we get into the car to being on the interstate is like 10 minutes. And that's 300,000 people. So it's always best to park away from, because like where I was at yesterday, it took me 40 minutes to get out of the freaking parking lot. Because I parked at the racetrack. You can't park.
Yeah.
You have to. It's set up differently. So.
Okay.
Do we want to do the list of hardest sports now? Or do we want to save that till next week?
We can go through a few of them, like the worst and the best. Okay. So, the other day, I was just going through Twitter, and it had this little chart with sports ranked by difficulty.
It's crap.
Tim.
Who posted this?
Did you see this, Tim? If not, I was going to ask you some questions.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you try to guess what's number one? Number one sport ranked by difficulty.
Golf.
Ranked by difficulty?
Yeah.
Like ridiculous sports included?
Oh yeah, it's got every sport,
any
kind of sport you could think of. Like cheerleading's on here.
Like I don't know, chess.
I don't know if that was on here or not. That's not on here. There's only 60 of here on here, but that is not number one.
Cheerleading?
I'm gonna assume it's not one of the major ones since you're.
It is kind of major. I mean, it happens. It happens every weekend.
Is it like field hockey?
No, it's not.
Is field hockey on here?
a lot of YouTubers have been getting into it.
I don't know. Every weekend?
Just about.
What happens on the weekend?
It's not UFC. It's the other one.
All week.
They got lacrosse, though. It's 14, though.
Golf.
Field hockey is 17.
Yeah.
That's insane!
So number 1 is boxing.
Boxing.
Yeah.
I can see boxing being number 1. That's a hard sport. But you also, if you don't take a fall, you get shot. So that's why it's a hard sport. You don't want to get killed by the mob.
Yeah, there's a lot of technicalities in it, but I think what makes it hard or difficult is the cardio. I mean, if you don't do it right, you're done by the first round, and then you're out on your ass the second round.
How is tennis harder than baseball?
I mean, baseball is a little bit more stationary for...
Yeah, I mean, you're more...
7 out of the 9 players on the field don't even have to really move.
Whether you want to swing at that ball.
Same with tennis. You got less than a second to get in the right position.
Tennis balls are hitting a 90 plus, at least.
Tennis, at least you have to, like, go back, like, you have to strafe a lot.
Yeah. I can see tennis being
harder than baseball, but I would say, like, barely.
Number 2 is ice hockey.
I'm going to get my teeth knocked out by someone, but...
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair. I mean, going around on skates like that and then handling a puck and getting hit by like 200 plus pound bodies and getting shoved in the walls, yeah. I could see that's pretty difficult.
How is soccer number 10?
Soccer's hard.
You're skipping around.
Hard. You can just kind of...
Nah.
It's not that hard.
Get out.
Yeah, all stamina though.
Yeah.
Like
you go play soccer.
This is the most.
You go play soccer right now.
I never played soccer. I've seen them guys. I saw a video of the guy taking a dive
have
yesterday.
A stroke,
and and crying
Chris.
about how he got and then he got up and ran off the field. Soccer ain't even a sport.
3 is football.
Which football?
American football. That seems pretty fair also, I guess. I don't know, I'm a fan of football, so I'd probably rank it pretty high. I mean, you don't get chosen like to make the NFL or any professional sport. I mean,
1% of all college athletes get drafted in the NFL. Less than 1%, isn't it?
So I mean, that's difficult in itself. But number 4 is basketball. Same thing with I don't. There's only 12 people on 15 people on a team.
Yeah.
So,
we live in Indiana, so we're naturally just pros at basketball.
I don't have a jump shot.
I can go outside right now and start draining threes if I want to.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, they're already pretty weak, so it probably wouldn't be hard. But I would snap your ankle.
Oh no!
I have an issue with this list.
I would like to.
This is the worst list of
Let me finish off the top 5, and then you can go ahead with your discrepancies.
A lot of them.
Number 5 is wrestling.
Professional or
it just says wrestling.
I'm assuming he means like
Greco-Roman.
Yeah, like not WWE, but like
Olympic
wrestling, college A. Before anybody talks shit about wrestling, I wrestled for 3 years in high school.
Oh, I remember.
I know how hard it is.
I wasn't there's no discrepancy against wrestling being.
You know, I think.
I wouldn't put it at 5.
No. I'm putting the top 15 probably, but not 5.
But it's like trying to keep your weight.
I would rather play than wrestling.
Yeah, but like trying to keep your weight, I think was my brother had a friend that was in wrestling and like he was really like into it, and him trying to keep his weight down and like to be qualified to wrestle in his weight class. I mean that was a struggle for him.
Just a quick side story: when I wrestled, if you were like a pound or 2 overweight, before, like on the way, like on the bus to another school. First of all, we pretty much weighed ourselves just in boxers on the bus. So there's people, but just like all of us, like half naked on the bus. And if you were like a pound or two heavy, you would throw a trash bag on and just run up and down the aisle of the bus, do push-ups, sit-ups. You would try to sweat that pound or two out before you got to the meet.
What weight class were you in?
Freshman year, I was the lowest one at 103, I think it is.
Golly.
And then sophomore year, I was 136 weight class.
That's a lot of weight
class. And then junior year, I was 155 weight class.
Wow.
Jeez.
All right, putting on that muscle.
That was more fat than muscle.
I'm glad you admit that. But I mean, I guess that goes for like all like fighting sports, UFC, boxing. I mean, trying to get that weight. Cause there's a show on Netflix that I watched that was one of their struggles too. I mean, that was their cut day is like brutal, and I was like, yeah, no thanks.
See, I've got major discrepancies, and then I won't even state the obvious. But you got steer wrestling at number 15, right? Which is difficult. But I would say it's more difficult than soccer. You've got calf roping at 40, which they're telling me that all of these other ones, including soccer and gymnastics, is harder than calf roping. But then they've got rodeo at number 42. Bull, bareback, and bronc riding. Anybody you guys watch rodeo?
Yeah.
That not only is that hard, but it's dangerous as all get out. People get killed all the time. Even professionals still, to this day, get killed riding rodeo. And they've got it at 42. And they've got speed skating, figure skating. All of these are ahead of it. Surfing, fencing is harder than...
Have you ever tried fencing?
Volleyball is harder than rodeo, bull riding. I can't buy that.
I'd like to see what their like
How
definition
is golf more
by
difficult than cheerleading?
what. I'd like to see like what their like how they go into like ranking difficulty. Is it like the time they put in, the equipment, the possibility of going pro?
They've got badminton at 30, volleyball at 21. Any sport that I can go out inside and play right now, although poorly, I would not consider a difficult sport.
Basketball. You go out and play football right now?
Yeah, but I'm going to be dying after 2 minutes.
With the heat.
I never disagreed that football should have been in the top 5. You've got volleyball at 21, fencing at 24, badminton at 30, table tennis at 47. How is table tennis harder than cheerleading? I could not cheerlead. I could not get out there and put a cheer together and throw somebody up in the air and catch them, or get thrown up in the air and know how to land.
Yeah, that takes a lot.
That takes a lot of skill. That's why I say
professional cheerleading is
then
tough.
You've got auto racing at 32. Badminton at 30.
They just harder. Take left turns.
I can go out right now and become a race car driver.
Okay, so I went to a race yesterday, right? I went to the IndyCar race at Mid-Ohio, which is a 2-mile road course. It was 90 degrees outside. Now, that's just air temperature. These guys are in fire suits, helmets, in an almost completely enclosed cockpit, driving at 100 and some odd miles an hour for 200 miles, which is just about 2 hours worth of work. How is that not as difficult as team handball, fencing, surfing, volleyball, or badminton? Because now you have to be physically fit. Me and you just can't get in a race car and drive it. And
yeah, I can.
You know what? Let's go go-kart racing, and we'll real go-kart racing, and we'll see what kind of shape you're in after the fact. Now add a whole driving suit, 110 degree, probably 130 degree cockpit temperature.
Yeah. I think golf should be ranked higher. It's at 51 out of 60.
But that is every drug's favorite sport is golf, because you can go. You ever been golfing?
Yeah, of course.
It's not difficult. You just suck at it because you don't practice enough.
Yeah.
Anybody can go golfing. We could go golfing right now. We wouldn't be tired. We could get on it.
Accurately place the ball.
We go golfing. Really Chris could go golfing in his boot. That's how undifficult it is.
I wouldn't be able to hit the ball that well.
But still,
I might actually be better.
It is ahead of cheerleading.
I just think golf's more difficult because you can have, you got those phenomenal talents like Tiger Woods, Mickelson, and then Nicklaus, and
the secret is you got to what iron to use.
They're consistent. Yeah, they're consistent. But then you got these other ones, and every week they're not like say maybe 1 week they're on it, they're top 5. The next week they're top 20. It's like, what happened? They're not as consistent. But like the other sports, they seem like maybe I don't know. I never watched badminton, but I've played it.
I've played badminton. We can go play badminton right now.
I'm saying like baseball would probably be bad. I'm saying like football and mostly like I guess basketball. I mean, you got those players that are pretty consistent every single game. Right. Unlike golf, I mean, that's why I think it's difficult. You could win a tournament 1 week and not make the cut. Yes. Yeah.
Very
Tiger
easy.
Woods did that plenty of times. He'd win a tournament and not make the cut.
Bobsledding and luge should be higher than 28.
I think weightlifting should be
Jamaicans
lower.
went bobsledding.
Weightlifting's at 44.
Ski jumping.
It could be lower.
Would you go jump on a pair of skis and jump? Oh, no. That's got to be up there. That should be higher, too. That's at 29. I think auto racing should be in at least top 10. Easy.
You want to go through the last 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is at a 60. So, we got a 56. Curling.
Should be higher.
Should be high. That could be a 60.
Yo, I can get down with some curling.
I love curling.
But you only watch that during the Olympics. So it's
Shut
like,
up.
We only watch bobsledding during the Olympics. We only half the stuff on this list we only watch during the Olympics.
Yeah. 57 bowling. That could be I think it's got a good place up there, but
we know a really good bowler, Brad. Brad
is he that good?
He's a really good.
Yeah.
Just talking to my friend about this, how bowling's one of those sports that you can't really watch because you're nothing like professional bowlers are all going to be. It's just going to be strike after strike.
I don't want to be that
strike
good.
after strike. You're really just watching to see who messes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be that good.
Who do you think I am? Who do you think you are? I am.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah,
that
guy. It's Pete. I want to say Pete. It's not Pete something.
Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he does. But anyway, back to this list.
58 is shooting. That could be higher.
It's an American pastime. We do it at school all the time.
It just happened in Indianapolis last night. 2 people got
and
shot.
Chicago.
Indianapolis, Chicago, like 50 people got shot over the weekend.
Shot daily in Indianapolis. That's a sport. Somebody got shot at Castleton last week.
I don't like going to Castleton anymore.
That sucks.
I almost got pickpocketed in Castleton.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You can get pickpocketed at the Markham Mall.
I know, but I don't like Castleton because there's so many people.
But anyway, so shooting is more difficult because, it's hard to hit somebody with a pistol. No, I'm just kidding. I would say shooting is more difficult. It really
Especially
is.
the speed shooting ones.
Oh my! I love
that.
Watch
Probably
speed
falls
shooting.
in it. Yeah, you see. I try to hit. I can't hit a target. We're shit, right? But it's like
we need to go shooting.
Yeah, I did get some more ammo, so it's nice.
You suck.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it takes a lot of practice, like any other sport on this. But it's like I bet if you take 2 people who don't have any hours into shooting, you give them each 10 hours or something, 12 hours, or a weekend or something, and I'm sure they'll both be different, but they'll be better. But it takes, I guess, talent to really.
It takes patience.
Yeah.
Patience is
and a lot of money now. A lot of money for the ammo.
Yeah.
59 is billiards.
I've seen you guys play pool. Y'all suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suck at pool. I like playing it, but
if you're good enough, you're just gonna run the table.
Yeah.
It's the same as bowling. You don't. No one wants to watch billiards.
I don't want to be
so
good at something like that. I
want to see like the trick competitions in billiards. That's where.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In the '80s, billiards was like really popular because they showed it on like ABC Wide World of Sports. And as a kid with not a lot of selection to watch, you watch, but I knew who Minnesota Fats was. And I knew all those guys because we watched it all the time. But they were trash talkers. They weren't like these guys now. Like,
they don't talk to each other now.
No, they do. They did then. Like Minnesota Fats, he was a trash talker, like a real trash talker.
See, the only place I know in town to go play pool is either B-Dubs. They got one pool table, the Country Bar, but you're lucky if you get enough balls to play there, because people.
There's a billiard place out on Washington.
I didn't know that.
The club I'm a member of has a pool table.
I knew that. I was going to say the Hugger has.
The old Marsh Plaza that looks like you could get shot in the parking lot and go down there and probably find needles. Yeah.
The Hugger has a bunch of pool tables.
I hear that if you go play pool at the Hugger that you don't get bothered.
You don't. The waitress will come over and get you beer and stuff, but you don't get bothered by the girls at the Hugger if you play pool.
I would not know because I.
What would they do?
I know that's Roger went there all the time.
But somebody told me. There's a buddy of mine told me
that makes sense. Like, what would the girls do? Like, hey.
Yeah, I'm wait, girl. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to beat this guy.
They play pool with you, maybe, but.
Oh.
And lean over, and see it. Yeah.
I had to pick a guy up from the Hugger, a guy with a walker.
Really?
Oh, in the Spirit Bus?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Was that what Dave was talking about?
I don't know. I've had to drop one off before, and I couldn't.
I had
a hard time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a member down there.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, and his son, Bobby.
Huh.
That's how we got it when we had a big party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a big party over there in January. Anyway, so yeah, I had to pick this guy up at the Hugger, right? I had to put the ramp down because he had a walker to get on. I had dropped him off at one of the retirement communities here in town.
Did he have a big smile on his face?
No, he wouldn't even look at me. And I was
I'd be ashamed as fuck.
Like, have a nice day, sir. And he didn't even say thank you or anything or goodbye or nothing. He just walked off the bus hunched over, which I'm wondering why he was hunched over. Probably took Viagra before he got over there in the first place.
Yeah, you gotta hide that shit.
Yeah, so he's probably hunched over, so he was hiding it. But yeah, I had to pick up a passenger at the Hugger, an elderly guy for the Hugger, and I'm sure he wasn't in there playing pool.
He was going with the.
Do they have food there?
No, they got food because they gotta have food because it's a bar. Yeah, but they don't have any good food from what I know. I know some strip clubs apparently have pretty good food.
There was a strip club in Orlando, and I never went, but I listened to this radio show daily, and they talked about how this strip club had the best prime rib in Orlando, and it's probably true. I wouldn't doubt it.
Remember last year when the NBA bubble was starting, that one guy got in trouble because he went to the strip club for
They had the best wings.
Yeah, right? they couldn't prove that he got any dances, but he went because of the wings.
Because he had wings.
He's looking for some thigh, though. I bet.
You left out the last item on the list.
Yeah, I was getting to it. It's number 60 is fishing.
Okay,
I mean, fishing's just like the fish. You got to be friendly with the fish. Get good luck.
You got to know where to go. The hardest part with fishing is you got to know where to fish.
But they have radars and shit for that.
Yeah, but you got to know.
Yeah, but there's a buddy of mine spends a lot of money on fishing. He's like in a fishing tournament, and that doesn't mean anything. It's like he ain't even close to going pro and get. It's like that 1% kind of.
You got to know what lures to use,
when to use them,
and
where to.
Weather effects.
Yeah.
Fishing, and so you got to be a weatherman and a depth person, and
you got to have 5 professions before you can.
You really do. It's not easy.
Fishing used to be. I used to love to watch fishing on TV when I was in college. And would come home
That's because you was drunk all the time on
no
trips to Lafayette.
No, like in between if I had a long enough break in between classes, I would go home and make lunch or
watch
something.
Jimmy Houston.
What?
Watch Jimmy Houston.
No, I'd watch Murray Provich mostly. But no, I'd watch fishing tournaments sometimes.
That's what I mean. Jimmy Houston was a fisherman.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were saying some daytime show.
No.
Oh. But I'd either watch Maury Provich, or however you say Provich, Or I'd watch a bass fishing tournament.
Chris is the name killer of our podcast.
I got one of the hardest last names to pronounce, and I can't pronounce names.
Can't pronounce people's names. I used to watch fishing shows when I was a kid because it was aggravating. They get these big ass fish. Like, let's just set them free.
I got pissed. I get pissed off when they let these big ass fish go. I'm like, that would make such a good fish fry.
I would say fishing is harder than billiards or bowling.
Yeah. You got to know what to use, when to use it, how to use it.
There's a unknown factor with the whole fish part, so that's why I feel like it would be harder.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of patience too. I can't do it.
I mean,
I love to fish.
I watch Deadliest Catch, right?
That ain't fishing.
They fish. Hang on, they go crab fishing. They do the crab fish, the codfish. So, but just because they're going out fishing, and just because they got depth finders, they have to figure out where the crab are. And they can go in and they can go lay down, 40, 50 nets, and there's nothing in there.
What'd you say, Tim?
Sometimes they get nothing on a whole string of pots.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So fishing is not easy.
I really want to go fishing right now. Thanks, guys.
I can go up at Lake Schaefer anytime I want, but I got my fishing license first.
Yeah, unless you don't.
I don't think your boot is waterproof.
I can get my foot wet. I was swimming when I went on vacation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the cast wasn't waterproof, but I can take my boot off and get my foot wet now. The wounds are all closed up.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, only to get it cut back open here in a couple weeks. Go back under the knife. All right.
Why do you have to get your...
They get the pins out.
Take all the metal out.
So taking all the metal out. Fine.
Yeah.
I remember when I didn't know how to walk.
You don't... Well, I don't know. I was going to say... You say you don't walk for 3-4 months and see if you can walk as well as me.
Hey, listen, my hand was broken. I had zero use of my hand for 4 months. It was difficult to do everything.
Wipe my social life.
Put on socks.
How'd you go out on your dates with Angelina?
No, the Spanish girl, Manuela.
I had to stranger.
Oh, he was cheating on her.
Yeah. We worked past it, though.
She understood.
She knew.
All right. You got a shower thought for us, Mikey, to end it with that?
Okay. Here's a shower thought. If you study history far back enough, it becomes biology, then geography, and lastly physics.
Okay.
Yeah?
I don't like that one that much, but I found it.
I'm still hung up on if the guy on death row dies, it comes back to life. Is his life sentence over? I still haven't gotten over that shower thought.
I think
I forgot about that one.
I think as far as that one goes, if he was pronounced dead, then yeah.
My whole thing is, why, if someone's on death row, why would they even want to bring him back to life? Just like, well, he's dead now. Don't have to wait.
Dude, we can't even electrocute him anymore because it ain't humane.
With what you say, yeah, it's when you become in a medical profession. Tim might know this. You have to.
They tried to save Oswald.
They have the obligation to save or help save anybody.
There's direct orders from the person or their
legal representative.
The same person who tried to save Kennedy tried to save Oswald. Very same doctors.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, even though he didn't do it. Anyway, that's another story.
We need to do a conspiracy theory episode.
We should do a conspiracy theory episode.
I can talk about the conspiracy theory that I'm building in my head about these chicken and gyro places.
The ones popping up all over town?
Yeah.
And are their chicken sandwiches not as good as the King? The most overrated chicken sandwich. They have chicken sandwiches.
I just had one last night. It was delicious.
The one at KFC's better than the King.
KFC's closes early, okay? What do you want from me?
The spicy one was good. I've had the spicy one.
I forgot Tim loves KFC.
No, I haven't really ventured towards KFC since they got rid of the buffalo chicken snackers.
Really? That was the final straw with you?
They've got a really good chicken sandwich. You know what has a good chicken sandwich? Applebee's. Applebee's chicken sandwich is better than the King.
The King is superior.
No, we're talking about fast food. That's a dine-in.
No. But anyways, back to my chicken and gyro places. My whole thought on these places are there's
like 6 of them in town.
You never see anybody there. Who eats there?
I agree. I have never seen.
They are a front to clean drug money or something.
So it's like the Pizza Connection.
Yeah.
It's like the Mafia and the Pizza Connection.
Yeah.
Like they use pizza parlors to
launder money.
To launder money.
And someone's using these chicken and gyro places
to launder money. There's one on 31 by the old, where the original Sonic used to be.
Yeah, there's one there on, was it Southway?
There's one on Southway, that's the original.
Yeah.
Then there's one
on the north side where that Domino's used to be.
No, Domino's used to be, and I saw a 4th one somewhere.
Yeah.
Where did I see the 4th one?
I don't know. I know where I've seen it.
I've only been to the one.
I think there's one on Apperson North, near Brown Air.
There is near Brown Air. Yeah.
They just opened.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4. Yeah, he's right. I never see any cars in there.
I've only been to the one on
Southway, the Fountain, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've ever been to, and it wasn't special. It was like walking into like it was barely furnished, and it seemed dirty, but I mean it was clean.
That's
exactly.
Do you know mob stuff? That's exactly what a mob restaurant is. It's like barely furnished. Nobody's ever in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good conspiracy, Chris.
We'd have to go visit them and do some research.
I ain't getting involved in the mob. Next thing you know, I'm mysteriously shot or fell off my balcony head first or something.
And I drove by the one there on the Fountain today. They had a brand new Dodge Charger Hellcat out front, parked like where the employees park. How do you afford a Hellcat?
Kokomo's notorious for like the mafia.
You say Hellcat, all I can think of is that sniper and all the tanks.
Dillinger used to frequent here all the time.
Yeah.
Him and Harry Pierpont, his right-hand man, they were in Kokomo like all the time.
There's a guy that lives on Dixon that does numbers for the mafia.
Who else? They say that Al Capone stopped at the Northern Tavern there on Washington and Washington back in the day, which that makes sense because Washington Street, that was probably 31 back in the day.
Yeah, it was.
That was the main road.
Yeah.
So that is very possible because he did have a house on Lake Schaefer. I know that.
Huh.
But my dad's cousin, back in the 70s, ran for the mayor of Kokomo. He was a candidate. And he got all kinds of death threats from the mob. My dad told me this, that he got all kinds of family, like death threats, like his family would be murdered if he would run. And he got all kinds of death threats back in the 70s. They said if he didn't drop out. So he ended up dropping out because he kept on getting mob threats. But between Indianapolis and Chicago and Detroit, and I know Minnesota was big in the mafia, there's got to be some mob link in between Indianapolis and Chicago. Easy.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Don's Guns.
I don't love to make money, folks. I just love to sell guns. God, that guy was a creep. Dude, he's a mob. He was a mobster. All these people. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. There's got to be some kind of mobs. I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe we shouldn't put this on our podcast. Maybe we should let this out.
Yeah. Tim, would you like to take us out?
Thank you for listening to Who's Your Nerds podcast. I thoroughly enjoyed myself today. I don't know about you three, but it was good conversation. As always, thanks for listening. You can find us wherever you may find your favorite podcast. Hopefully it's Who's Your Nerds podcast. Just kidding. I know it is. We all know it is. iTunes, TuneIn, YouTube, and Somebody help me out.
All right, we're gonna interrupt you. We got breaking news here. Director Richard Donner has passed away.
Don't know who that is.
What?
Richard Donner, he directed Lethal Weapons. He directed. Oh my God, he's
80s action.
He was like the king of awesomeness. So
we can talk more about him next week.
He directed Superman.
Oh.
I'll just get. He directed
Reeves.
Superman, Lady Hawk, Lethal Weapon, Conspiracy Theory, all the Lethal Weapons, Assassins, Maverick, Tales from the Crypt. Oh yeah, like I said, all 4 Lethal Weapons. Scrooged, The Goonies, The Toy, Superman 1 and 2 with Christopher Reeve. He directed The Omen. And he was involved in a lot of different TV shows. Cannon, Streets of San Francisco, Kojak back in the 70s, Ironside. He was 91 years old. But yeah, he directed all of these famous movies. He died today, July 5th, 2021.
Tim.
Doesn't say how.
Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and iTunes. Also YouTube. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, go back to. You can say. I just wanted to throw that out after reading that Richard Donner passed away. So, rest in peace to one of the greatest directors in Hollywood ever.
Do you?
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for listening to Who's Your Nerds podcast. Check us out wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Tune in. I've already forgot them all. Chris said them. You guys heard them. You know. Just always come back and you'll never wonder who's your nerd.